Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Friends, this webinar is for beginners as well as advanced students of Vedanta, Gita, spirituality. 5 teachings of Bhagavad-Gita is an attempt to give a bird's eye view of the Bhagavad-Gita for those who may not know what it is all about. In this webinar, we will take up 5 selected verses which are in a way very representative of the wisdom of Bhagavad-Gita. But let me tell you well in advance, by picking up these 5, we in no way are saying that these are the 5 teachings and there is nothing else which is important. There are a lot of important and beautiful teachings in the Bhagavad-Gita, and the list is long. It is rightly said that Bhagavad-Gita, especially, that is, when you think about many other scriptures, this Gita, which Edwin Arnold in England called Song Celestial, is like a beautiful garden of many plants having different flowers, of different colors, of different fragrance, and so on, because Gita teaches a number of spiritual disciplines, number of philosophical views, and so on. Someone, in fact, preferred to call Gita a magnificent herbal garden where everything is a medicinal plant. So instead of flowers and perfume and colors and so on, this thinker thought of Gita being a medicine for the ailment of human life, sansara as we call it. So here we are to try to take a look at certain important teachings. And we must continue to study the Gita to understand other teachings. In fact, to understand these 5 teachings also far better than what you may get today, you will have to continue studying Bhagavad-Gita. Don't think Gita can be grasped and digested and absorbed at one go. However much sincerely someone like me may try to explain the holy text. So, in the very synopsis that went to all of you, there has been, or we gave 5 mantras or shlokas right away. Jnāna, bhakti, karma, yoga, and then a 5th one touching upon a very important aspect of how we manage our mind management. So, let me touch upon the 5th first. In the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, in 2 verses, which had tremendous impact on none less than M.K. Gandhi, Sri Krishna says, what we think about, especially with a certain continuity, in a certain repetitive manner, can make a big difference to the quality of our life. These 2 shlokas, namely the 62 and 63 of chapter 2, are indeed terrific. I don't mind confessing that even I, after all these years of being a student and a spiritual teacher, have found, have recognized that even the journey of mine was so influenced by what thoughts I entertained and what thoughts I put aside. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate Sangat sanjayate kama kama krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibhrama smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho buddhi nashat pranashyati. The two verses. And to summarize what these slokas say, it is all about any continued thinking about any matter can decide the direction of our life. So, think of somebody somehow attracted to money and always thinks about money. He may get money, he will get money actually, you know, because money became his deep driving force. DDD, someone called it, deep driving desire. And don't underestimate the power of your own mind. If you thought about money, you will soon have a lot of money, but money doesn't mean happiness. You may end up in various forms of spoiled relationships and a lot of mental turmoil. So the first teaching is as simple as this. Let's not go into too much philosophy. The first teaching is be careful about what you think about. You may think you are very smart, thinking about money. You may think you are very intelligent, thinking about some prospect of becoming famous. Be careful. Name, fame, pleasure, power, position, and wealth, all these can actually tear your peace into pieces. Better you mainly be anchored in love of God and then do include all other pursuits. Nobody says don't have wealth at all. Nobody says don't enjoy pleasures at all. But let that pleasure pursuit, power pursuit, and other worldly pursuits not be your central force, the main force in your life. Turn Godward. Now I come to the teaching, very popular. I'm going in a bit of a different sequence. The third shloka given in the list, in the synopsis, is about karma, right? So karma yoga. And there are a lot of shlokas all through Gita, and some are very popular, but I am sharing with you the shloka which for decades has been dear to me. And it is so comprehensive. The verse is chapter 5, verse 12. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. I like this verse a lot because in a single shloka it says, you do this, you will be bound. You do this, something, a second option, you will move towards more and more inner peace. The path to more and more, bondage and the path to more and more liberation. Both the paths are given in a single shloka. It says, karma phalam tyaktva. I am fond of the expression for heaven's sake. For heaven's sake, don't make an issue. Don't spend too much energy on whether others gave you what is due to you. That is karma phala. What you got in the past, what you are getting in the present, what you will get in future. You understand? What you got, what you are getting, what you will get. Money or love or respect or care, whatever. Don't spend too much energy on what you are receiving. Maybe for some reason, when you smiled at somebody, that fellow did not smile back, rather frowned. God bless him. Don't worry about it. Keep your goodness up and shining. That doesn't mean you live foolishly. Karma Yoga doesn't mean you become a doormat for everybody to walk on you or clean their feet on you. No, no. Do whatever is possible, but with a whole lot of noble values supporting that move. Let not the world, which is not treating you well, let not that world really enslave you. In spite of troubles and injustice and unfairness, etc., etc., Gita says, karma phalam tyaktva. It could be your spouse, it could be your son, it could be your neighbor, it could be your in-laws, it could be your guru also sometimes. Gurus like me sometimes can be very unfair, I tell you. Because we are also driven by that higher force and we don't know what we are doing. So I'm not sparing anybody. Somebody is not fair to you and you are hurt. No, 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 no. What others do to you, what others give you is karma phala. Karma phalam tyaktva. That means without making too much of an issue, take a deep breath and say, I didn't expect this from him. I didn't expect this from her, but it's okay. Now let me see what best I can do. That is the second line. Ayuktaha kamakarena. For karma phalam tyaktva is the brighter side. You give up your insistence on others being good to you, then you will get shanti. Whereas if you go on cribbing, complaining day and night, why did Sheila do this? Why did they do that? Why did this? It could be a collective problem. A whole group is ill-treating you, whatever, right? If you go on thinking about it, phale sattaha nibaddhyate. I need not elaborate more. I'm fond of quoting an old, worn-out quotation. John F. Kennedy said in his commencement address, ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. That's Karma Yoga of Sri Krishna expressed by one of the most popular presidents of the United States. Ask what you can do. Ask what you can do for your children. Ask what you can do for Guru, what you can do for students. Ask what you can do for your spouse and do it with as much positive values as possible. Now we go to the second of the five, jnāna, bhakti, karma, yoga and mind management. Mind management and karma we covered. The third in the sequence, but second in the list, or don't worry about these numbers, we talk about bhakti now. And about bhakti, we have a wonderful selected shloka, and personally I regard 9th chapter as the best discourse on the science of devotion. And can you believe? Sri Krishna gives to you and me the most mood lifting, most wonderful message that lifts our spirits, and that is verse number 30. Api chet suduracharah bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhureva samantavyah samyak vyavasito hi saha. Some of us may be durachara, that is, we have not been living rightly. We are doing a lot of wrong things, not treating people well, not being honest, not being transparent, not being open, showing ourselves to be very good people, but behind people's backs we may be doing wrong things, whatever. That's called durachara, not sadachara. And Sri Krishna says, even if someone is sudurachara, of very bad conduct, sometimes you and I, in spite of our accomplishments, we actually, there are some moments when we think about ourselves. Oh, a message came, but I hope it's working. It says network bandwidth is low. Are you hearing me? Raise a hand if you are hearing. Yes.
Yes, no, can.
Dr. Reddy is saying yes, so thank you. So if the voice is on, that should be good enough. So, even if we have, I was saying, we have moments when we feel, oh, I have been selfish, really speaking. I have been immature. I have been childish. I have been very self-centered, though not many people know it. Oh no. Maybe we do have such moments. Sri Krishna comes along and says, the great medicine for that is here. Bhajate ma ananya. Don't say I have no devotion to God. You have something called love in your heart, even if it is for a cat or dog, even if it's for a garden or for some drink. If you say I have love for something, change or turn that love towards God. Sri Ramakrishna says, begin with whatever little love you have. Begin. On a scale of 100, you may have only 5. 5. Sometimes looking at Rama or Krishna, Shiva or Hanuman, sometimes you feel, yeah, I like you. Sometimes. Sometimes. That's okay. Please make a beginning with that. And then go stronger and stronger. Ananya Bhav. Say once at least in the entire 24 hours. Say once. Some bhajan goes. Man ek baar hari bol. There's a bhajan, it's a ek baar. Very sweet bhajan. Man ek baar hari bol, hari bol, hari bol, like that. So, can you in a whole day say once God, visualizing Him as standing in front of you, God, be with me. That can grow, start small, grow big. And Krishna says, if someone does that, sadhureva mantavya, no matter how he lived or she lived her life all this time, thanks to her turning towards God, she becomes a sadhu or a sadhvi. And Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma says the next sloka, very soon that person will become so good. Good words, good deeds, good thoughts, everything about her, about him is going to be good. You and I have in us, do not doubt, the same waiting to be discovered. And by saying, don't imagine somebody who wears ochre robes and goes to Himalayas or something. No. You continue as a family person. You continue in your sari and blouse, pant and shirt or whatever. The way you treat people, the way you face situations will drastically change. And you will feel that. You will feel several times during the day, hey, what has happened to me? I feel light. I feel happy. I feel so unburdened. What happened? It's because you started turning towards God. Bhakti is love God. That won't do any good to God, but you love God, you will blossom, you will open up, you will awaken. The fourth selected verse is for yoga. Yoga, Patanjali says, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Though many people think yoga is bending the body, many people say yoga is, I guess, bending the body backward, forward, twisting, turning. Swami Chinmayanandaji was known for a very witty statement. In fact, somehow personally he didn't like yoga. So he said, I don't want any yoga in my ashram. People said, why Swamiji? Yoga is good. No. Why Swamiji? He said, I don't believe in bending my body. I believe in straightening my mind. Therefore, my students should study. They should study Geetā, they should study Upanishads. If they straighten their mind, everything will fall in place. You don't have to take it literally. If you and I have been doing yoga, better we continue, at least for health benefits. But yoga, ghum fir ke, as they say, finally is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Patanjali himself says yoga is excellent management of our own thoughts and feelings. And unlike bhakti or yoga, is yoga. I'll do the yoga in the evening. In the evening, we think, I think it's good to do this. Even I myself sometimes coffee and so on. Even this morning I said, no, tomorrow onwards, first yoga, then coffee. It needs certain willpower. You heard many of us, and then a part cup of coffee, and then against a lot of, struggle. Should I do now? Isn't evening better? No, I like to do one. No, we may be smart, we may be learned, we may be educated, we may be scholars, we may be very intelligent. If we don't have certain modicum of willpower, the world will make us miserable. We must develop. And if we have decided, I leave no stone unturned to go by that. Someday you may get up late, 7 a.m. you got up. Okay, do 7 to 8 in between. I got up at 7:30. After I freshened up, it was 8. Okay, where you are engaged. We can do yoga first, exercises. So, yoga. I would say not much, but there are very clear references to yoga. He talks about pranayama, he talks about upavasa, he talks about various other exercises. Verse from the 6th chapter, which is all about meditation, Sri Krishna says, verse number 26, Yato yato nischarati manaschanchamastiram tatastato niyam yaitad atmanyeva vasham naye. Sri Krishna says, don't just pride over how many books you have read, how many lectures you have given. The most important question is, when your mind by old habit runs towards a sense object or runs towards something of little value, you have 15 minutes free and your mind says, oh, let me watch those videos that have come over WhatsApp about some dance and music. And no, when mind goes outwards, yato yato nischarati, going outwards. Tatastataha, from those respective objects, withdraw the mind. 15 minutes which was flexible for you, for heaven's sake, spend the first 5 minutes in thinking of God. How do we do it? I don't have any God form that I like, you may say. No problem. Do breath observation. Do regulated breathing. Oh, my wife likes Rama, my daughter likes Krishna, my son likes Hanuman, but Swamiji, I don't like any God form. Go for Om. This morning I was at the International Pyramid Valley and I went up to the King's Chamber. There is a King's Chamber in Bangalore's sprawling campus of Pyramid Valley. I had gone there a few times, but first time today I was at the King's Chamber. There's a condition to go to the King's Chamber. There's no ticket, no charge. The condition is you should spend at least 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes also scared me before. Gathering all my courage, I went up. 33 minutes I sat. And let me tell you what I did. All the 30 minutes I tried. My mind was wandering like any human being's mind. But again and again I said, I will breathe in whatever way. But while breathing out, I will repeat Om. That's what I did for 30 minutes. While breathing out, Om. Breathing in, there were many different thoughts. Breathing out, I tried to say Om. That is yoga abhyasa. It's not jnana, it's not karma, it's not bhakti. When repeatedly, with certain amount of willpower, sankalpa, these 30 minutes, for the first time I have entered the King's chamber has nothing to do with King Charles III, okay? This is King's chamber in International Pyramid Valley in Bangalore. England's new king may be Charles III, but this is King's chamber, a heightened level, where 4,000 people can sit on the basic level. About 50 people, I guess, can sit at the King's chamber in the huge pyramid that Shri Patri had built. Is no more now, but it's a place worth seeing. Okay, that's about it. Yoga consists in making the body, the breath, the thought follow a certain pattern which we decide. If you have decided Surya Namaskar is to be done this way, don't play with it. Do the Surya Namaskar 24 times. 12 times with the right leg going first backward, another 12 left leg, there are two kinds. Do it. Don't say I will do some innovation in this Surya Namaskar. That is jnana yoga. In pure yoga, you exercise will to follow what has been laid down. Krishna talks about it. And then to conclude that reference, Sri Krishna says, if you do this, if you do this, you will come upon a certain subdued of mind, where the mind becomes an obedient tool in your hands. And this obedient tool, Sri Krishna says, just to make a reference to one of the things he says, even in hardest situations of life, you will not lose your peace of mind. Dukkena guruna api na vichalyate. This is the expression in another sloka. Last but not the least, I now wish to take you the me where myself am primarily engaged. It is jnana yoga. In jnana yoga, it's not about letting go of selfish thoughts. Although jnana yoga will bring you to selflessness, but it's not primarily or right away about letting go of swartha. That's karma yoga. It's not about love of God, though jnana will bring you to love of God. It's not about willpower. It's not about some kind of general mind management. You know what jnana yoga is? Jnana yoga is seeing things as they are. Seeing the world as it is, not as per your conditionings. And seeing yourself as you are. You may say, what do you mean? I know who I am. Don't say you know yourself very well. Please. On and lot of noise coming. Please mute your microphone. We stopped. Okay. You see a rose, and this is rose. Jnana yoga. You may say that everybody does. Everybody knows a rose is a rose. That is to illustrate. Generally, what happens is you see somebody and memories about that person come. You no more are seeing him as he is now. Those memories influence. Similarly, friends, I would say, never see yourself as you are. 1,000 memories of your life rise, And some memories make you feel so depressed, I am good for nothing. Some other memories make you feel like you are, so good. Memories play havoc with your life. Jnana Yoga, Upanishadic wisdom says what the mind says is like a propaganda. A whole lot of propaganda in the world is not true. Don't go by the mind. Upanishads awaken you to see yourself as pure awareness. You are the light that sees thoughts. And thoughts are busy creating an image of yourself as a bad guy at times. And some other time, thoughts are very busy from morning, painting a picture of yourself as though you are the most virtuous person beyond even Vivekananda and you feel, is there anybody so good as I am? Thoughts are doing all this. Stand apart, beyond good and bad, beyond right and wrong. There is a certain dimension to you, which is awareness. And in that context, I am referring to just one shloka. There are more than 50 shlokas, if not even more, in the Gita presenting Jnana Yoga. And the one I am reading is from 13th chapter, and the verse number is, it says exactly what I said a while ago. We are of the nature of, awareness is best represented by light. Light lets people know. If there is light in the room, you know things. If there is no light, you don't know. Awareness is that. Awareness is that principle in you by which you know your thoughts without judging. You see thoughts. So verse number 17 in chapter 13. Jyotishamapi tad jyotihi. There is a certain truth which is the light of all lights. If you are seeing things in sunlight, very good. But you are seeing sunlight thanks to the light in you. A stone doesn't know anything. It is inert. You are the light of light, all lights. Tamasa param, no darkness comes near it, beyond darkness. And this light is the ultimate jnanam, knowledge, ultimate jneyam, the one to be known, and ultimate truth to be reached, jnana gamyam. And can you believe? Never think Bhagavad-Gītā is a dry, boring subject. It is full of tonic. In this verse, Sri Krishna says, this supreme truth is not to be found far away in the clouds or in the heaven or beyond the seven seas. Hridi sarvasya vishtitam. It is in the Hridi, Hridaye, sarvasya. Every one of us, in one's own heart, one has this light of consciousness. Stitam in Sanskrit means present. Vishtitam. V plus stitam becomes Vishtitam means Visheshena stitam. What does it mean? Visheshena stitam. As your own true nature. If it is in your heart, it's here today and tomorrow it is likely to go, then it's not all that good. It is you yourself. You are the light of all lights. Now this is good to hear, but many of you, I'm sure, would say, I have heard all these things, but at the end of the day, I'm as miserable as ever before. My dear, please stay with the teacher for a length of time. Please ask questions. Please work on the material she gives you. Follow a competent teacher. Not blindly following. We are not talking about just agree to anything she says. The competent teacher will say a few things, will challenge your present understanding of life, of the world, of yourself, of the purpose of life, of the goal of life, about all these things. So if you walk with her for some length of time with patience, you will see that your very perception of yourself and of others will change. And thoughts once more rise by their old habit to topple you, to throw you off balance by the strength of jnana, Upanishad jnana, which is well represented here in this sloka. You will be able to look at those thoughts and smile at them and say, as though you can't do it anymore to me. I'm watching your dirty game. Then thoughts will just withdraw. That's called Atmanishta. Let me conclude this reference by saying Jnana Yoga helps you stay as the pure Atma rather than what mind says, what the body says, what the people say, what some memories say, what some particular episodes in your life say. All of them have a lot to say. Brush it all aside. Or at most, use them where they are relevant. Do not be pulled by them, dragged around, pushed around by them. Don't be a victim to their whims and fancies. You be Atmanishta. That's what Ramana Maharshi says. Atmanishto bhavatvam. Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. There's a shloka, eka shloka of Maharshi Ramana. Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahma matram. Aham ahamiti sakshad atma rupena bhati. Hradi visha manasa swam chinvata majjata va. Pavana chalana roda. Those details will. Finally he says, Atmanishto bhavatvam. Stay as the pure self. Atmanishta, anchor yourself. Don't anchor yourself in this or that aspect of your long story, tale of tears of the personality. You are something above the personality, and this is not some, some stuff to just to satisfy you. This is the truth. A rose is a rose. It's a truth. And 100 false notions may arise in your mind about the rose. Brush them aside and see the rose as the rose. So let me pause here and welcome questions and comments. And we have some time for that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now you may open your, turn your microphones on. Do not hesitate. Okay. Swamiji's voice was garbled, could not make out what was said. Sorry about it, that was a technical problem. But probably many others could hear much better.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, please tell me. Yes, Prasadji, after a long time we are meeting on the... please, go ahead.
Yes, and doing it on the phone, I hope I don't have technical problems. Would you consider, you try to really get at the essence of the essence, the quintessence of the Gita, which of course appealed to me, and I did not want to miss this session, which is enjoyable, notwithstanding the technical issues. Would you consider the 66th verse in the 18th chapter, Sarva Dharman Partyajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja, as sort of like a coda, and trying to put a full stop or a beautiful essence to the Gita. What is your view on that?
Definitely, I considered that shloka, but then I thought, especially some newcomers might not be able to see the depth of that shloka, because that shloka, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, has a distinct flavor of bhakti. And but as you said, it is not just bhakti only, it is the quintessence of all the paths.
Right.
Finally, whatever path, the little self vanishes and Sri Krishna, the Supreme Self alone remains in karma, yoga, bhakti and jnana. So I'm
Right.
thinking that many see take some simpler ones.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you.
It is indeed. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Second person to raise a question. Someone has complimented me in a nice language. You put a spring in your feet before the midday morning blues start tomorrow. Thank you. I'm putting a spring in your feet. You're feeling upbeat. Sri Krishna's grace. ಹೇಳಿ ವಿಶ್ವನಾಥ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಯಾವ ಸಂಕೋಚ ಬೇಡ ಹೇಳಿ. How come your in my screen your picture has become enlarged?
We have just moved into our new block from Swamiji.
Hey, congratulations.
Just 2 days back, did our Ananta Puja here.
Oh, Ananta Padmana. Ananta Chaturdashi also, right?
Yeah.
Great. Wish you good luck in the new setting.
Namaste, Swamiji. Guru Prasad here.
Namaste. Yavag bartira? When are you returning to Bangalore?
24th of this month.
Good. See you sometime. Good. I've been seeing you to participating in many of our online sessions.
Yes.
Very nice to see you. Geetā and Guru Prasad.
Yeah, I'm very.
So whether in India or 10,000 miles away, you are keeping in touch with the scriptures.
Always is in our heart.
Yeah. Good. Any question here? Any comment? Okay, there are 1 or 2 participants in front of me offline. I asked them. All right, so it's nearing 9:30. Rishi Vachanam Tava, someone said. Nearing 9:30 p.m. India. So we'll meet again. Looks like all of you found such a topic interesting. In fact, the next webinar is going to be 5 teachings of Upanishads, which is going to be on 25th, right? We can have this flavor of a general overview. We'll do it again. Thank you. May Shri Krishna bless every one of you. Hello.